Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football House. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for liking. Thank y'all for subscribing. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Being joined today by the usual cast. We got Dustin. We got Craig. And then we got myself, Josh. So we got a jam-packed episode here. We're gonna get into today. As usual, how are we feeling?
I'm ready for bed personally, man.
Yeah,
That.
absolutely. I mean, it's closer and closer to football. How can you not get excited? And, I know it's been a rough day on us all, but you still got to be excited. It's football, man.
Oh yeah, man, dude. We got football. I think coming up. Maybe is it Thursday when the rest of the preseason kicks off since the Hall of Fame game, or Friday night, one of the two. So we're gonna have a lot of preseason football coming at us these next couple weeks. And of course, man, the drafts are beginning for everybody. We got our own draft for our league. We'll talk about here at the end of the episode. It'll be on the 21st of this month, so it's coming up. Coming up, guys.
Mock. Get out there and do your mocks.
Hey, and watch our last episode where
Absolutely.
we did our first mock draft 1.0, where Craig thinks he dominated everybody in it.
Josh, that was a pretty good team you had. The first 5 picks were solid.
We'll have to recap that one. Maybe we'll do like a halfway through the season. We'll take a peek back and see how bad our teams are, so we can all laugh at one another and say how crazy we were for drafting, the first week of preseason. Yeah, like I said, we got a jam-packed episode. It's going to kick off with some ADP Battle Royale. And before we jump into that, we are going to go ahead and select a round that Dustin and Craig are going to battle it out over. And they're going to have to select a player from this round that I choose. And the round going to be round number 5. So they're going to have to select 2 players from round number 5 that's in that current ADP of going in round number 5. So we'll get to their guys when we get to topic 1 here, and I'll let you know who they are. And Josh will be the judge, myself here, and we'll see who can battle it out. And let's see who brings the best argument and why we should take that person at their current ADP or higher. Also, we got a little hater-ade going on today on the episode. And then we're going to give you a little insight to our fantasy football league that we have going on that, like we just stated, our draft is on the 21st. So, yeah, guys, how are we feeling about this ADP Battle Royale, guys? Round 5. Are y'all nervous, or this is y'all's battle?
I mean, bring it on. I got the stats to back it, so we'll see.
So draft calculator and full PPR. What are we looking at? 12, 24, 36. So 60, 40, 60, 40, 60?
Yeah, 12 team. Yeah, that would be right, round 5. And then, yeah, y'all are going PPR. So, yeah, guys, y'all, I'll give y'all a couple minutes here before we kick off that topic. I'll hit y'all with a little story time. Good old story times when I head out to the old hometown of Brenham, Texas, man. A couple weeks ago, I was in town visiting some family, and I had to go see my aunt and uncle. They just purchased a new house. So I was like, I gotta go check this bad boy out, right? And so hanging with my uncle for a couple minutes, grab ourselves a beer, kind of just shooting around, talking, and he's like, hey, I met my neighbor the other day. He's pretty cool. He's my drinking buddy. I'm like, oh, who's your neighbor? Just thinking, this is some random guy. So yeah, this Quentin Sutton for the Denver Broncos. You know him? I'm like, like I know him. Like, he's like, yeah, it's his dad. I'm like, what? Like, your neighbor is Quentin Sutton's dad? He's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, that's my buddy. We drink beer together every week. I was like, that's a cool buddy to have. And anyways, we're outside chilling. He's showing me outside his property, and Quentin Sutton's dad just happens to be outside. And he's like, hey, this is my uncle's like, hey, this is my nephew, Josh. And then I met him, real cool guy. We kicked it around. He told me that Cortland's going to have an awesome season this year. Look out. Coming. No, not really. Not the last part. He was actually just really cool. He said hi. That was my cool story of how I met somebody semi-famous a couple weeks ago, guys. Tell me, who's the coolest person y'all have ever met, or the coolest sports player y'all ever met? I guess let's go that. Or the most famous person y'all have ever met. Craig?
Tony Romo waved to me as he ran by from like 40 yards away. That's looking at me because I was the only one in the stands. Literally the only one in the stands. It was preseason. It was the last practice. It was here in San Antonio. And he was trying to exit as quickly as possible. And as he ran by, and I'm thinking he's going to come over and maybe sign something, and instead he just waves at me as he jogs by. And I thought, man, pretty messed up. I didn't meet him, but I mean, I met somebody else. Okay, this guy technically, I talked to. I had a buddy of mine that was working at La Cantera, the mall. It's an outdoor mall in Oklahoma. OKC was in town to play San Antonio. Serge Ibaka. And at the time, Serge Ibaka was a big name. He was one of the best defensive players in the league. Anyway, so this friend of mine and another friend, they go up to get his autograph, and Serge makes a face. If he says something under his breath, he's upset that he had to sign an autograph for these guys. I don't know why. Kind of jerk move. But after he signs for him, he looks over to me and he's like, "What about you?" And I'm like, "I'm good." I don't like we're winning, but yeah, I mean, I don't need your autograph. It was pretty funny though.
I can't. You shut down a.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, man, Serge Ibaka. He made it sound like he was some kind of. He might have been an all-star, but it's not like he was a 12-time all-star or something, So I thought it was funny for him to shrug off my buddies and, nah, man, I don't need your autograph. Like, Westbrook, Durant, yes, those guys, sure, but Ibaka, no, I'm good.
Absolutely.
But I did tell him good luck, and I think we still won that night, so it was good. Dustin, how about you? Who have you met?
The funny thing is, I think I have two stories. The first one I'll get to is your Ibaka one. I think it was the exact same series. Me and the co-buddy worked together at a sports store, and I had Danny Green come into our mall. So as, working at a sports store, we all grabbed our gear, tried to go get it signed. And Danny Green was like, I ain't working today. And we were like, what do you mean you ain't working? Like you're an NBA star. Like, yeah. So I got that. Finally, he just rubbed me the wrong way. But, it's understandable. They're working 365, 24 hours a day. So it's understandable. The second one is I actually, right at my beginning of getting into sports, I got to meet Kurt Warner, which was absolutely amazing. He's just as nice as guy as he seems to be. There are those players that they seem to be nice, and then you see him out in public and it's like, what a jerk. No, he was exactly the person that he was on the field. So that was really cool.
Dang. Yeah, no, guys, that's thank Kurt Warner. That's pretty neat. As cool it was getting to just chat it up with Cortland Sutton's dad and getting to check out, hanging out with the family and stuff too. And Brunham, fortunately, they were not the most famous people I've ever met before by any means. I did probably for me would be excuse me, Kevin Durant at a Chick-fil-A. It was in the middle, like a 20-piece nugget. And it's like, do you or do you not interrupt Kevin Durant in the middle of eating Chick-fil-A nuggets? And I'm like, It's freaking Kevin Durant. If I had to.
I mean, I think it all depends if he's knee deep. Yeah, if he's knee deep in a chicken sandwich, yeah, maybe. But nuggets are fine, man.
This dude that he had as a bodyguard was probably about 6'8", pushing close to about 300, and I was like, "This is a chance I'm taking, guys. This could be my last day." But no, super cool. A lot of people give him flack about how he went to Golden State and kind of jumped onto a team to just go chase titles and stuff, and I know he had some burner accounts up on Twitter and stuff that a lot of people give him flack for and stuff, but he's a really cool guy, really humble, super nice to me that day, and all I did was just say hi to him. I didn't bug him for an auto or nothing like that, but probably just because I didn't have it on anything for me to sign. It's like, hey, sign my Chick-fil-A cup. I should have did that.
Yeah. Sign your Chick-fil-A, like anything, like on his table, just ask him to sign it, like.
And honestly, sometimes they prefer that. Me and my wife ran into, what's his name? Big man from the Spurs, not one of the big ones. Tiago at Best Buy, and my wife started freaking out, like, "Hey, let's go get his autograph," and I was like, "No, babe, like he's just shopping." And afterwards, he waited for me to come out the store. And he was like, "I appreciate that." And we didn't get an autograph, but, it was, you got to see the guy. So it was pretty cool.
Yep. All right, man, let's do this. What do we got next?
No. We got, we were talking there, I guess, and we, y'all were supposed to be doing y'all's research for this ADP battle. That's what we got on topic 1 here. It's Craig versus Dustin today. Me, myself, is going to be the judge. So who do we got, guys? Who did y'all pick from the round 5 for you guys? Dustin, you want to lead us off first? Who's your selection?
Holy cow. I am going to go with Tyler Lockett. Sitting at, I believe he is 60th in the ADP right now.
That's like almost out of that round, so I'm gonna go a few spots ahead or behind, and I'm gonna go with Brandon Ayuk at 64.
Oh, nice.
I would have done Thielen, but I missed it by a spot. I could make a case for DJ Moore, but I really like Ayuk, so I'm gonna go with him. I've already got some scoring leaders from last year type stuff, but you go first so I can have a couple more minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So why we're doing Lockett, I think if Russell Wilson shows out like he usually does, I think he's a great pickup, especially in the late 5th, early 6th. You look at some of the numbers from last year, weeks 1 through 7, he was averaging 90.3 yards, 1.2 touchdowns, and he was the second wide receiver. With that said, you look at 8 through 17, he was averaging 51.2, 0.3 touchdowns, and the 37th receiver. So a lot of people are going to ask why. He did have a monster week facing Arizona last week with 15 receptions, 200 yards, and 3 touchdowns. If you look at the numbers, Metcalf is catching up, but Lockett is still Russell Wilson's number 1 guy. He's still one of those guys that most his catches come from Russell Wilson freaking out and rolling out of the box and finding him on a Hail Mary in the end zone. And I don't think that's going to change. At the end of the season last year, he was hurt a little bit. He got banged up, had a knee injury. The thing I think is important is it's all going to depend on Russell Wilson. Right now, they just got a new offensive coordinator with the Rams. If you look at their pass to rush ratio, 2018, the Seahawks were sitting at 32nd. They are currently last year 14th. So you're looking at, they're looking to open up the pass game and, give me their number one receiver. I think he could be drafted even higher. You look at Russell Wilson, every time he has a 40-plus pass game, he's averaging 29.4 fantasy points. And that is only second to one player. And that player would be Patrick Mahomes. So if they air it out like I think they will with this new offensive coordinator, I mean, you got to go the number one guy in that offense with the wide receiver position, and he is Russell Wilson's main target, especially when he's in trouble. So I think that's why he's going to be a lot better than where he's projected to go right now at 60.
Oh, the judge will speak. Judge Josh here real quick. I'm going to poke a couple holes in both y'all's arguments here, but first, Justin.
Yes.
How can Lockett be Russell Wilson's number one guy when his real number one guy is being drafted 20th overall right now in DK Metcalf? So you're saying I can get Tyler Lockett 3 rounds later?
You can.
He's the real number one guy?
He is. You look at last year in numbers, regardless, Lockett was targeted 132 times with 100 receptions, and Metcalf was targeted 129 times with 83 receptions. So the amount of receptions, the percentage, Lockett has a better percentage and a better target rate. So absolutely. Do I think
I'm gonna have to.
Do I think Metcalf is going to have a breakout year? I do. But numbers-wise, Lockett is the guy.
He already broke out.
True.
All right, Craig. Save your argument here for the end. But
You would. Okay, sorry.
it was Brandon Ayuk.
Wait, so you poked holes, but I don't poke holes yet?
No, not yet. I'm the judge, Craig. You are the plaintiff.
Got it. So I'm doing Ayuk now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As a rookie, playing over half of his games with Nick Mullins, Brandon Ayuk finished as the wide receiver 18 on a points per game basis. I would drop my mic, but it's kind of on the table. No, Duke had 60 catches on 96 targets. He averaged 8 receptions a game. 8 targets a game. I know that we're all worried about George Kittle and Debo being back, but quite frankly, I think Debo will be involved, but I think Ayuk at this stage of their careers, and I know Debo is still a young man, but coming off of injury, Ayuk has his injury concerns as well, but he's very explosive. You know, if we saw him last year on the field as a rookie, being the number one, and that's him having, the number one corner or double coverage. He had to figure it out with Nick Mullins at the quarterback position. So if you're asking me, a Shanahan player in the 5th round, I'll take Ayuk. Ayuk, if it's a shot to be a top 10 wide receiver, I think he can accomplish that. I think Kittle is going to be a 1A to Ayuk's 1B is honestly what I think is going to happen. Kittle's a beast. He's going to get his. But in years past with Kittle, was there ever really a talented wide receiver to stretch the field? I mean, I don't ever recall. I know Emmanuel Sanders 2 years ago when they made a Super Bowl run. Kittle might have been there for a small part of a Crabtree experience towards the end of that career, There's been a number of guys later in their careers go to San Francisco, but they never had somebody. Debo would be the closest thing, and then now Ayuk. So, yeah, I think Ayuk's got a shot at being the legit number one wide receiver, and I think that a wide receiver can easily match Kittle's targets. I think the three of them are nice. If you wanted to take value, you could take Debo much later, but I think I'm gonna roll with Ayuk in the 5th, maybe even the 6th round. You know, I think I picked Ayuk, but he's going 64-ish. If he's actually behind, I tried to make it, yeah. So I went 64 behind Lockett. So I'm gonna take Ayuk. When did I get to talk about Lockett?
First off, order in this court. Nobody gets to drop a mic in Judge Josh's court, okay? First rule. Second, nobody's dropping any Crabtree references in my court either. It's 2021. Brendan Ayuk, let me poke some holes in your argument here real quick, sir. And then I'm going to take everything y'all had into account and let y'all fight it out real quick, and then I'll make my final decision. I do like your argument of Brandon Ayuk and what he did with Mullins last year. What I'm worried about, to kind of poke some holes in your argument here, is what happens if they go with Trey Lance? And it's going to be more of a Lamar Jackson style offense where he's running the ball a lot more. You trust him getting the targets to not only Kittle, Debo, and Ayuk. Can that offense support three guys that we're looking at, you know, top 10 in each of their positions, top 15 at each of their positions? Definitely Kittle's top 5. And then either we would think that Daniels and Ayuk would finish top 20 out of their wide receiver position. So just kind of throw some water a little bit on the fire there. But guys, Greg, you go first. You say what you think about Lockett, and then let Dustin do some countering.
San Francisco is one of the run heaviest teams in the league. However, Shanahan is going to be an offensive powerhouse. You can't really say the same for Seattle. They want to run the ball more. I don't know what happened the first half to the second half last year, but if you were a Lockett owner, you only hoped you had traded him before the wheels fell off. They want to run the ball even more this season than they did last season. If Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, they think they got something special there. They actually drafted a wide receiver in the 2nd round this year. So when I look at it, Metcalf is the number one. He's going into his 3rd season. He's a big target in the red zone. He's fast. He's young. I mean, this guy is the number one. So if you factor in the 2nd round pick in Eskridge, along with Metcalf being the true number one, and the fact that they want to run the ball more, I like Lockett. We all saw it last year. I mean, if he was winning you games week to week for the first half of the season, but then he was single-handedly losing you games the second half, and that's something that I can't afford that. So instead of giving me 30 in one week 4 game and then 3 in week 13, I would much rather have a Brandon Ayuk who could give me 10 or 12 every single week across the season is what I'm going for. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up.
I mean, so with that being said, I did mention, week 1 through 7 and week 8 through 17. A big reason of that drop off is the new offensive coordinator. The old offensive coordinator kept running the same plays, running the same play style. The first time you could look at the scores, the first time they met against a team, that's where the blow up monster game came from Arizona. But the next week they or the next time they seen him, they were ready for him. I think that's going to change with the offensive coordinator from the Rams, who you look at Jared Goff, and 2 years ago he was 7th in the league for overall passes. So he's going to want to air out the ball. They do have a good running game. But my complaint on the I like your Ayuk, but I don't think they're going to be able to get him the ball. I mean, right now, is it going to be Garoppolo? Is it going to be Mullins? Is it going to be Lance? You know, we're talking about guys who don't have chemistry, and chemistry is huge in the league. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. You know, Brandon Ayuk could have a breakout year like we talked about. But right now, I just don't see it happening, not knowing who the quarterback is going to be and not knowing when we will know who the quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer.
Well, guys, I've made my ruling after long, vigorous hours of testimony from you guys. I have decided that Dustin helped me on a bad day, because our next topic is Hater-ade, and this is a little foreshadowing. Seahawks are going to be a part of the Hater-ade. So, and this time it goes to Craig Mack with Brandon Ayuk.
I like it. That was fun.
So the winner this time was Craig, so he will be the judge next week. We're going to run this segment back one more time. And then at the end of this episode, Craig, you can think about it and think about a round you want us to throw out, and then Dustin and myself will battle it out next time. Then you can be the big bad judge.
Cool.
So topic number 2, guys. We're jumping into what we call Hater-ade. We are going to pick one player out of the top 20, the current ADP top 20, that we think will be a bust this year. And by bust, I mean if they're currently slated to be a top 5 running back, we are saying they're not going to do that. If they're slated to be a top 10 wide receiver, we're saying, hey, they're not going to do that. They're going to fall short of expectations that we currently have, or the fantasy community currently has for them. Want to kick it off for us?
What was that?
Greg, you want to kick it off for us, sir?
Oh, my bad. Top 20. Somebody who I think is going to bust?
Yep.
Oh, you're not going to like this, fellas. Looking at the top 20, there's a few names that I really don't want to go with, but I'm going to pick one based on sheer volume and usage, and that is the big dog, Derrick Henry.
Wow.
I know, but
we just lost 2 subscribers. I'm kidding.
There's a thing that happens when a running back turns 26 years old, which that is now Derrick Henry. Granted, he didn't have a whole lot of run in college, and he didn't have a whole lot of run to start his career in the pros. But when a running back sees the usage that Derrick Henry saw, you can expect, and I don't like thinking about injuries, but there's usually, well, it's fatigue. Let's be honest. It's going to be fatigue, you know. Almost 400 carries last season. That's just in the regular season, you know. Almost 400 carries.
You're just saying wear and tear is what is going to be the factor here for Derrick Henry?
Yeah, it's not well, yeah, weight's what broke the wagon down, except not that kind of weight, the actual physical weight. What wait till it broke the wagon down, man. If he was coming off a 300, if he was a receiving back, you could make the case that 50 receptions where he's only getting hit by one or two guys isn't that serious. But when you're talking about a guy that's just running between the tackles over 300 times in a season, that's a lot. Well, he went from 300 in 2019 to almost 400, with, to be exact, 378 in 2020. It's not counting playoffs either, you know. So you got to tack on another couple games in there, but that's a lot of carries between the tackles. Guys are diving at your legs, you know, up top. If I wanted to name some guys from the past, it would be as recent as last season with Christian McCaffrey. He was coming off of a monster season where he touched the ball so many times, and his usage scared me. And sure enough, that's actually what happened. You know, now he's taking a season off with injury, of course, but, you know, he's still a young man. He's going to recover. He's going to bounce back. He's going to have a great season this year. But I was very hesitant to draft Christian McCaffrey last year. I know a few years ago it was DeMarco Murray. Dallas ran him into the ground with 400 touches. He went off to Tennessee. He had a pretty good half a season, but then, you know, started injuries and he couldn't really finish it the same way. There's just a lot to be said. Statistics have shown that a 300 carry guy, sooner or later it's gonna happen. And going with 300 plus and then 378, I'm very scared to. I've still got him in my top 10. I think I've got him at 5. You know, I'm hoping I don't have to make that decision though. Derrick Henry would be the guy for me that I just don't think he's gonna make it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next, Craig. Like, where would he, if he fell? So you're saying if he fell after the top 5, you would definitely scoop him up?
Yeah, no. Right now, I'm still taking him ahead of Saquon. I would probably take him ahead of Kamara. Yeah.
Well, before we get over to Dustin and get his hater-ade of his guy from the top 20, Craig, we'll take a little break here and give us a little info here on your Hooked Up Guide service.
Hooked Up Guide service. Yeah, guys, hey, if you're like me and enjoy fishing, you're down here in South Texas, specifically Corpus Christi, Aransas Pass area, Hooked Up Guide service with Captain Pat Tabor will put you on the fish. We're talking about red drum, speckled trout, black drum, flounder.
I even see some sharks in there.
Yeah, no, there's sharks in the bay. They're typically not real big, but it's a variety of species inshore, with that occasional offshore that wanders too far from home, I guess. But no, Captain Pat Tabor, he's a good guy. He's a fun guy. Knows how to have a good time. Makes lots of jokes when you're on the boat, and he's gonna put you on the fish. So you should look him up, whether it be Facebook or his webpage, hookedupguideservice.com.
Alrighty, guys, check him out. Especially if y'all are ever in the Texas area. If y'all aren't from here, be a good place to go get on some fish and have a good time. Dustin, give us your top 20 bust you got going on here.
So bust is it's a hard term, especially when you're talking top 20. I think a lot of people are gonna have issues with mine too. And that's the big boy out of Wisconsin, Jonathan Taylor. My big issue right now is with the offensive line. Ain't got no quarterback. Offensive line right now, he has 3 of the starting 5 out with injury. The biggest name being Quentin Nelson. Now, Quentin Nelson, we did talk about this last week. He wants to be back week 1, but it's an injury. There's been lots of times that players have wanted to be back and they have been sidelined due to protocols. I think it's, we were able to see what he can do at Wisconsin. We were able to see what he could do a little bit last year, finishing up with over 1,000 yards. I like the guy. But I think he is going to be he's still in kind of that running back by committee, although they know he is the future. He's still got to share a couple carries. So I think with the line, the running back by committee and sharing carries, I can't take him top 10. Just can't do it. Or top 20.
What would you take him?
I would probably take him if he fell probably round 3, round 4. I would feel comfortable touching him there. But until then, I don't know if I would.
I think we're about a few weeks, right? Two or 3 weeks before all the drafts really start blowing up.
Right.
I don't know if he's going to fall that far. He's already starting to slip.
Yep.
I think he's outside the top 10 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Right now.
I think so. Like if you get into some of these other ADP, maybe sleeper app and stuff, they'll have them already, going around that 12 spot, 13 spot. So he's definitely fallen quickly. How the mighty have fallen.
It was just a couple of weeks ago that he was creeping into the top 5.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
15, Josh. He's at 15 now.
Dropped 5 spots overnight.
Yeah, Dustin made a good point that not only was there already still a concern about Nyheim Hines, you got Marlon Mack coming back this year too. Like there's some mouths still that they don't think they're gonna run, even though Taylor is their future. Well, I always want to call him Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Taylor, even though they took him in the first round, and he is their future. They're just not ready to totally unleash him, to that 3-down back, or maybe that was never their intention. So, with Hines still there and Matt coming back, it's tough to push him into that top 5 running back, and then definitely the top 5 overall in the draft. So, Craig, you definitely had the harder route, I think, there of taking a guy that's currently going in the top 3 in some drafts with Derrick Henry, but you look at this top 20, every single season, the same top 20 we're looking at right now is not going to be the top 20 at the end of the year. So there's always somebody that falls. Like, we don't want it to happen because of injury. Sometimes it's injury related. Sometimes they just, they hit that wall. Maybe like what Craig was saying, like eventually your body doesn't hold up forever. Unless you're Tom Brady, I guess.
He has his own supplement line, man. Like...
That's a real quick funny story. Ben Roethlisberger, I saw today. He said he lost like a lot of weight, I guess, and he was trying some different diets. But he said he tried that TB12 diet. And he said he couldn't do it. He's like, I can't do the green stuff. Like, it's disgusting. Like, at least he gave it a try. My guy, guys, I'm gonna throw out here at y'all. And right now he is currently right at the 20 spot. And so he does drift a little bit higher. He does kind of fall a little bit out at 20. So, but he is there. And that is part of the offense Dustin was talking about earlier, the Seahawks with DK Metcalf here. DK Metcalf, I do believe he is their number 1 wide receiver. I do believe that Lockett's right there with him, as Dustin was making that argument earlier, or that Dustin might even was saying that Lockett might be the number 1. Over those, they got an amazing offense, or did they have an amazing offense? Last year, Dustin made the point earlier, week 1 through week 8, explosive, right? They were letting Russ cook. After that, everything fell apart. Schottenheimer, who was on the way to probably getting a head coaching gig, he was their offensive coordinator, ended up getting pushed out of the door due to differences with Pete Carroll on how they wanted to continue running the offense starting next season. Only leads me to believe Schottenheimer was airing the ball out like crazy. Carroll, his past tells you, run. Now, they did bring in this new offense coordinator. We don't know enough about him yet because we never seen him do this. He was just a passing game coordinator for the Rams. But Carroll's past tells me that they want to run the ball. I see them dialing it back some. think that's kind of the reason why Russ was kind of in some of these trade talks at the beginning of offseason too. I think he liked Schottenheimer as his coordinator. Of course, like I guess most guys, you get attached to your QB coach, your coordinators, the guys you see the most, you talk to the most as a QB. But also, I think he loved the idea of he wanted to open up the offense as any QB would. He wants to throw the ball, chunk it around. He was having an MVP season up to week 8, and then, but got to go with what we know from the past, at least for me. So I lean on Carroll and what he's done in the past. So I look for them to go back to the running game. I mean, Chris Carson's no Marshawn Lynch or what they had before, but he's still a great quality back. Metcalf now. I guess the next question would be if he did fall. I'd feel more comfortable taking him more in that beginning of the 3rd round. Give me him at that 25th pick, 26th. That would be nice. Or even just if he back end of the 2nd, that 24th pick. I can live with that. If I can somehow pull off a running back, and he's my first wide receiver. Oh man, I think I'm still feeling pretty good. I mean, the guy's got speed, the guy's talented. They're still got to throw the ball. They can't run the ball every single play, but.
Good point, Josh. I think a lot of that had to do in Seattle was the defense was bad. And the way to control that is keep your offense on the field. So getting into shootouts and they were losing ball games, I mean, I think that was a big part of it, control the clock, win the possession turnover battle, and that's how you win games. So letting Russ cook as far as fantasy was great, but I think Carroll said, hey, Brian, you're not the head coach, buddy. So
yeah.
I think to your point, that's what it was. I think ultimately that's what it was.
We're going to jump into our last topic here, and we won't spend too much time on it, but we do want to bring the viewers into a little bit of our personal league, welcome you to our league. Just going to throw it around, guys, and just kind of see what y'all's feelings are about our league. Y'all think of other leagues y'all been in, like the difficulty level, of our league versus others. And then I'll throw in a little backstory, too, on our league, too, here at the end. But just to start it off, kick it over to Craig first. But our league, I think this is the 7th season, Craig? 8th season, something like that.
No.
Yeah. What do we think about the difficulty level of our league? If you want to give the guys a little breakdown of what our league is made up of.
Several seasons ago, I think we were standard scoring, and then we switched over to half-point PPR. At the time, PPR was still making its surge. A lot of guys wanted full PPR. Some of the guys said, hey, let's just do half-point. Come to find out now, it sounds like there's more half-point going around than what there once was. So, 10 teams. I think we just expanded this season to 12 teams. Josh has won 1 title. A guy named Stevens won 2 titles. Last year I finished 2nd. My wife was 3rd or 4th. She was pretty upset that I got by her, but that's
a nice way of saying it.
Yeah, her tight end was awful. She should have picked up someone off the wire that week. I tried telling her.
Take that, Ingram.
Man, it's a fun league. We got a trophy that I think last place buys the winner the trophy. It's a good group of guys. I think we've kept the same 10 for the most part, the same 10, and now we've grown to 12. So, but the core, most of us have all been there since the beginning. Yeah, I like that league. It's a fun league. Several other leagues that I'm in. 12 team, 4 PPR, 3 wide receivers, difficulty level. The 12 team is what makes it harder. So it'll be exciting this year to see our league with a 12 team. It's going to definitely add a degree of difficulty.
Dustin, how you feeling? This is going to be your first season with us. You want to give us a little history on, I know you played fantasy football, of course, before, but jumping in a league with us this year, how you feeling?
Yeah, first season back. I'm You guys actually got me into fantasy football as far as the difficulty level. I've been in quite a few outside of our leagues, and they are super easy because I'm dealing with people who don't know that much about, half the people may have, in our league, it's everybody knows about, everybody's watching the waiver wire. Everybody's watching what's hot. Everybody's watching for that gem. Like it's extremely difficult because you're in competition. So I'm excited this year to be back. Can't wait to show y'all what I got. And yeah.
Yeah, no, Dustin led right into what I was going to talk about with this league that I love so much, is that you think you have that sneaky late round flyer you're going to take, and it gets scooped up a couple spots before you. Everybody's on these guys. Everybody knows. Everybody does their homework. Even when it comes to waiver wire moves, we use the FAB system like a lot of people do nowadays. So, everybody's on it. Everybody's pretty wise about spending their money. Some people, spend a little bit more than others, but they all have strategies to it. So, we do a live draft every year. We get together at someone's house. We do it. Makes it, I think, bring up the difficulty level a little bit more too. Yeah. Yeah, like you get put on the spot, or I think in a live situation where you don't have, you're just you and yourself behind a keyboard, you are forced with other people chatting and, watching your every move, so to speak. You just there's a guy named Steven who Craig referenced in our league. He's won back-to-back years, so the goal is to shut him down. That's the goal this year, guys. So.
Gotcha. Nancy Kerrigan him. I gotcha. That's what you brought me in for. I see.
on that first round, and someone's going to come up behind him and just him across the back of his legs.
Well, guys, that wraps it up for this episode. If y'all want to, or please give us a follow. You can find us on YouTube at Fantasy Football House, of course. Like, subscribe. This episode here, just on at the bottom. And then on Instagram, it's fantasy_football_house. And on Twitter, it's at FF Show. And Craig, you want to give the fans a little info about some subscriber numbers? If we get to a certain number, what are we looking at? Trying to do something for the fans.
I've got several autographs. Whether we went to a Cowboys function. Or a few years ago, over my shoulder, we've got official licensed Duke footballs. If those retail at $100 themselves, however, these are a little different because they've got signatures by one is Von Miller, one is Gronk, one is Cam Newton. But in my closet, in my living room, we've got a lot of autographs from Cowboys players. So yeah, I think we're gonna have something in the works once we hit 50 subscribers, and we're gonna give something away. I'm not quite sure yet, but if we do 50, if we do 100, but we're gonna start giving some of this stuff away, getting it out of my closet, just collecting dust right now. The 3 footballs behind me, I got 3 more in the living room. That's just way too much, man. So yeah, let's get that subscribe count up, and we'll start giving this stuff away.
I mean, once again, we're bringing it from our house to yours. So,
hey, see, there we go. That's how you sell it, there, sir. So next episode we'll get more details on that. We'll let you know what subscriber count you need to get to, and also it's going to help you if you follow us on Twitter too. And again, that's at FF House Show. And if y'all, you guys want to throw out y'all's own personal Twitter too, Craig and Dustin?
True Blue the Third. That's True Blue III.
And I am Nice Guy Gaming 16. Catch me on Twitter. I don't tweet a lot, but I'll tweet you. So.
Yeah, and I'm at Playmakers with the Z, 88. And I'm on Twitter a bunch. Keep up with my sports on there and stuff too. So hit me up. Yeah, hit me up. I'll respond back to anybody for the most part. Just don't be a d-bag. Yeah, and so guys, that wraps it up for this episode. Thank you for our sponsors. This episode we had a sponsor of Hooked Up Guide Service. We appreciate all the sponsors, and yeah, guys, we're gonna run it back next week with some more ADP Battle Royale, as Craig will be the judge. What's our round, Craig? What round are you going to give me and Dustin for next week?
Should keep it going. Let's do round 6, man.
Round 6.
Round 6.
I know. Everybody knows one.
Round 6. Fight.
3, 4. So yeah, if we did 5 tonight, let's do 6 on the next one.
All right.
I'm coming to court, guys. I don't even need a lawyer. I got this. Alrighty, guys. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.
Peace out.